hate puppies. It's good podcast.
I feel threatened.
I didn't hear Stu.
Stu? Stu-free episode.
Stu-free episode. The SFE. A lot of people have been waiting for the SFE.
They've been asking.
Here we are.
Give the people what they want.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House. Hope you're having a good week and you've survived the storm Elsa. Believe that's the one coming up the coast. Coming up the coast right now. More on that shortly. And
survived the fourth.
Survived the fourth. We've got. We don't have Stu.
No,
but we do.
We have a legend.
Have a mystery legend guest. That I don't even know if I want to introduce him. I kind of want to let people try to figure it out.
That could be fun.
Yeah. Give you a hint. Eggs and oil. That's
Here's the hint. You still eating that table mayo?
If it's out, I'll eat it.
There
he is.
There he
I
is.
think the real listeners know who it is. We've got the Duke in the house.
Welcome, Duke.
Appreciate you guys having me here.
Well, you're on vacation.
Always welcome.
I love that this guy's on a staycation.
I still tell that story to people.
The Duke story?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's a beautiful story.
Yeah. It makes sense. I can't believe anyone doubted him.
I'm one of those.
I know.
I'm one of the ones.
You doubted him.
I thought it was doubt worthy. I mean,
nope.
I don't know if you know this, but mayonnaise is supposed to go bad.
They leave that shit out all the time, and the Duke proved it.
I know. I'm going away on a trip, and I bought mustard because I still believe it. I was like, I don't trust it.
Science be damned.
Yep. I'm bringing mustard. Now, we're glad to have you, Duke. You're on a official staycation, which I wish I would do more often. You and your wife took off a full week from work with no plans.
No plans at all.
So what have your days consisted of? Here we are on a Wednesday. You have 3 days under your belt on vacation.
Pickling my liver, watching Euro Cup. Not a whole lot.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does sound great. Have you spent any of the time doing like household chores and yard work, or is it not that kind of staycation?
No, haven't done a whole lot of anything. The wife cleaned the closet, and I was pretty happy with that. So
this is literally all he's doing.
Good.
Sitting around drinking beers. When did you have your first beer today?
1 o'clock.
That's a staycation.
He's an adult. He's an adult. He waited.
He did.
Yeah, I waited till
Actually,
afternoon.
That's impressive. It's a problem when you're like, I don't know, pancakes and bourbon? Like, ooh, you're doing it wrong.
Maple syrup with maple bourbon?
That actually sounds all right. Now you're dipping it in the bourbon.
That does sound good.
Until you're hammered at 2.
Yeah, see, I don't want to be that hammered.
No.
I don't necessarily like being that hammered anymore. Like, that's a bit of a... I used to enjoy that. Now I don't.
Yeah.
Like that...
That's something you don't learn until you're older, but the people that can figure that out young to where you just want to catch a good buzz and ride that buzz for as long as you can, that's where the fun's at.
Yeah. A buzz is perfect.
Yeah.
You want to be buzzed. You don't want to be hammered. Sloppy's the worst.
Yeah.
You don't want that action.
How many good times have we missed out on and when I say missed out, meaning you were there and fully participating, but you don't remember it. That's the worst.
Unfortunately, probably a handful. More so back in the day.
Yeah, of course.
These days, I've gotten far better.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm drinking things like seltzers and nerd
Exactly.
drinks.
Yeah, you go to a big concert or
a
big ball game.
Yep.
And you're like, what happened in the fourth quarter?
Exactly. Definitely did that back in the day. Been to more than one concert. I don't recall the hit songs at the end and the encore, and more than a few games where I didn't stay the whole time or don't recall the outcome per se.
I did do that at a Chris Stapleton concert a couple years ago. I made an error. I think I've told this story where they gave, they have the 24-ounce cans that you can get now at a lot of concert venues, and they gave me two that they didn't crack. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, gold. Like, you don't get that. So I put those in my backpack, got back in line, and got 2 more beers. Because I wanted to save the 2 unopened beers, because those are gold. That's a commodity.
You didn't want to have to get back in line.
Yeah, it's a commodity. So the problem was, though, that I still had those 48 ounces of beer in my backpack when they stopped serving beer. And I was like, I've got the beer. And so I started drinking it because I was like, you can't take it with you.
Yeah.
Like, get after it. And it ruined the entire back half of the concert because I was drinking far too much, and it just all went to pot. Not my brightest day.
Outkicked your coverage.
Story of my life. It's kind of how I roll. I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see you made it out, even during staycation. Easier said than done. I apparently gave you just enough notice because I think I reached out around 2 or 3.
You did.
So,
And at that point, I stopped drinking beer, so I'd be sober enough for this
there
podcast.
You go. Yeah, I had to take a little break. I went away this 4th of July weekend. I went away to a buddy's river house and got to go down there and tool around. But that very first night, it's like we were let off the leash.
Yeah, you went hard in the paint, didn't you?
We couldn't believe it. You know, Thursday night, we're like, oh, my gosh, look at me. I'm a hero. Or I guess it was Friday night. And we just kept drinking and drinking. We were playing some dice game and having a blast. And then, like, all of a sudden my wife fell out. And then, like, my buddy fell out. And then I'm sitting there with my buddy's wife. And we're still drinking and we're playing that. She says this to me. This is one of the greatest lines. She goes, hey, what song, if you played that somebody said they didn't like, would you punch him in the face? And I was like, ooh, fun game.
Yeah, that sounds like something. And she probably 3 songs in regretted asking you that question.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, because you're going deep cuts on that. You're not playing like
I was.
Don't Stop Believing or something. Like, you're going to go like.
No, I was Shamalama Ding Dong.
Yeah.
It was immediately where I went. That's where it started. But then my daughter came in the room and she was like, I can't sleep. And I my only option was sleeping on like the pull out with my wife. So I was like, all right, baby, look, why don't you sleep with mom? Which relegated me to the couch in the middle of the room where every kid that was not drunk was going to be up at 7 a.m.
Oh, no.
So that set me off down the wrong path because now I have no sleep and I'm up with the first.
Because you are a late night guy and you also do not have a problem sleeping in if needed.
No. And so I was the last one to bed, first one over 10
up.
You know? So I was like, dang it. That did not go well. And then immediately we went out like, all right, we'll start packing everything up. We're going out on the boat.
Where were y'all?
We were down in Reedville, which is the northern neck. But we went out on the boat, and like as soon as I started drinking, I was like, I don't feel right.
Yeah.
Like it's not working for me.
Did not have enough recuperation time?
I did not. So I felt shaky all day, which is kind of a crappy way to do it. And then decided, well, bourbon's the only thing that'll fix this. Did that for a little while. And then the Duke showed me a late night Marco Polo that I don't recall at all.
Oh, wow.
And it was like 11:30, like not even like.
I got to see this.
I mean, he seemed very sober, though,
I
honestly.
Perfect. I
really?
saw
Yeah.
the thing, and I'm like, well, that's not the same
Yeah,
dude. Like, that
he seemed
dude's
fine.
lucid. One of those. But then parlayed that, woke up the next morning after that, drove home to go to the Duke's house for the 4th of July, and then that's when things got a little interesting. What'd you do for the 4th? I won't.
Went down to my sister's house, which we've been doing every year down in Virginia Beach. She's got the dope spot down there right on the water. And we didn't go last year because of COVID. She was very by the book with that. Didn't want to intermingle a bunch of people. But we had a big time. I went down Friday morning and stayed till Monday morning and went out on the boat. Kids did some tubing. We watched a lot of fireworks.
That's what I was going to ask. How about fireworks?
We didn't participate in any, but where we were on the water, we could see the Cavalier Country Club's barge shooting them off.
Nice.
And then it was like Beirut around us. I mean, they were going off everywhere around us. It was crazy. I've been going down there for years and never seen so many fireworks in my life.
That's what I was going to ask, because you live in that fireworks world.
Yes.
And so you deal with that. You check in on people. You make sure that people are doing the right thing.
Try to keep people safe. That's what I do.
Yes. So did you find that this year there was just more illegal fireworks on the streets?
So in my travels, I found a lot less overall stands. Just no fireworks anywhere.
That's weird.
I didn't find a lot of fireworks anywhere. And especially illegal ones. Most of them were the legal Virginia legal ones, and so I was surprised because in talking with, I didn't talk to you, but I talked to the guys back in my neighborhood, and they said my neighborhood, it was just popping off everywhere, which we've talked about here where we live. You can't even have sparklers.
Yeah.
So to have like the legit stuff that goes boom up in the sky, I mean, you're rolling the dice.
Well, that's what I noticed this year more so than years past. Everybody had mortars and things going in the sky. I mean, it was on.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen anything pop off like this ever before. And I think that's because everybody was pent up this past year.
I think so, yeah.
And last year I saw more of that.
Yeah.
Because they weren't doing the fireworks displays, but it felt like a lot of people were cooped up last year, got their own fireworks, realized, okay, I can do this. And
I wonder if more people traveled like places they drive to, like not as much flying travel. So it's like, well, I'm just running up and down 95, so I'm gonna hit the spots while I'm going up. Usually, I would fly to the islands or go do something epic, a cruise ship, or whatever you're.
Sure.
But now it's like, well,
South of the border.
yeah, or jabs. Brennan and I
damn
talked
right,
about
jabs.
I mean,
Jabs is the truth.
I'm thinking a lot of people just did like the house rental, Airbnb type vacation. That way you and your family could go do something but stay together and not.
So maybe they passed fireworks and we're like, we pulled it off last year. We should get more.
Or maybe people who usually don't even get them got them this year.
Because it seemed like everybody had the big illegal fireworks.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed.
Yeah.
And this year I heard more stories about people dying. I mean,
people were getting injured left and right.
Trucks
blowing up.
That kid who was on the Columbus Blue Jackets, the goalie, he died from a mortar.
Yep.
And it sounds like he got hit in a hot tub, like trying to get away from it, and it hit him square in the chest.
Yeah.
That's tragic.
For sure.
Especially a guy that takes pucks in the chest all the time.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what he does. He's good at taking a certain amount of trauma to the chest.
Yeah.
His poor parents he's probably been skating and playing hockey since he was like 6, and he's probably been injured 100 times over, and they were like worried about his safety. And then it's like, how'd he die? Like, oh, did he catch a skate in the neck or something? It's like, no, he was drinking with some friends and
Caught a mortar.
caught a firework.
Which is...
Or stopped one, right?
Yeah. I see what you did.
He's standing on his head.
He could have said,
That's not funny.
oh, do you think he jumped out in front of it to stop it?
Muscle
memory. His goalie muscles kicked in?
Dude, can you imagine if it turns out that in the end he saved a bunch of
Oh,
people?
that would be crazy.
Like he did put himself in front of it. It was like, I got this.
Yeah.
Because his reflex, he's the only person whose reflexes might be fast enough
Yeah.
to actually intentionally get there.
Yeah.
Ugh. But then you were telling me a story about someone threw a mortar into someone's car or something?
Yeah, I think it was out in California. Somebody sent me an article. I breezed through it, of course. Somebody was passing by and just chucked a mortar in somebody's car, and it went off. And luckily, nobody was killed. But I mean,
and
people
luckily,
got
the whole
injured.
state isn't on fire now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can't have anything.
Nothing in California. It's
Yeah.
a tinderbox.
Yeah, like I literally was talking to someone about a solo stove the other day, and they're like, "Oh no, I can't have one." I was like, "What do you mean you can't have one? It's America." And they were like, "No, I live in California. I can't have an open fire."
Oh, that makes sense.
I was like, "Oh, yeah, that does make sense because you're one ember away from being the person who cost, 500 square miles of homes."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, shoot, okay." But yeah, we, I think the Duke and I were feeling our confidence a little bit because we had a pretty successful firework round last year with the mortars and the Roman candles and all of the above. And I remember at the end of the year last year, we were pulling off pretty epic finales, like 3 mortars at a time, and like setting them off. So this year we stepped up to bigger and badder. I think we also were desensitized like a lot of the people.
You get used to it.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? No one got hurt.
Yeah.
Nothing burnt to the ground. I was hearing that over on 4th of July night, there was a house down in the Outer Banks.
Yeah.
Like a $1.5 million house. I was hearing this in the barber chair today. That mortar hit, burnt the whole thing to the ground. Like, ooh, like the wind caught one and it came back and poof, house gone.
Yeah, the fallout you need for that, the space you need to safely do it is crazy because, I mean, the wind carries that stuff a long way.
If you're going to do it right,
Yeah.
yes, you need a tremendous amount of room. We have a small amount of room, but we're precision pyrotechnics is how we roll.
Yeah,
We're the best.
We're the best. So this year we were lighting them off, and we had the mortar set up on the table. We had the fire extinguisher. We'd sprayed down the yard, so the yard was wet. Like, we'd been doing everything right, but what we didn't quite get right was the securing of the mortars themselves, like the actual tubes.
Yeah.
And when we started going up to the 2 at a time, like at first, no problem.
Yeah.
Then we went to the 2 at the time, and what we noticed was every so often one would shoot before the other, and the shock of it firing off would tip one over. But every time they were all the way up in the sky, so we were like, it's working fine. Our confidence continued to grow. We had 3 on the table. We did end up at one point going all the way up to 4 on the table. That ended. So, Troy, I think you're going to be a little incensed here. This is not great. We were lighting them off, and the vibration shook one down while it still had a live round in it. And that bad boy fell sideways and fired one straight across the yard. And I'm talking...
away from you or at you?
It split the difference between one of his boys who was tearing off running the other way, saw it happen, thank goodness, took off the other way, and then it split the difference between him and all of our wives.
Oh, wow.
And if it had fallen an inch or 2 in either of those other directions, we wouldn't be recording today.
Yeah.
Because we'd be busy doing other things.
Yeah.
But, dude, this thing fired straight across, went through the fence.
Oh, wow.
Into the neighbor's yard, and then just boogoosh,
whoa,
lit up their whole yard. And it was like, oh. We lit one more, and then that one we were like, you know what? Because that one was like a 45-second like barrage.
Uh-huh.
And at that point, we literally picked up everything else we had, and we said, it's over. We're done. Because
it was a win. Everybody was safe.
Yeah, like we almost had a catastrophic failure. So lesson learned. Like,
oh, you did have a catastrophic failure, just no one got hurt.
Yeah, but the lesson was learned.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. Like,
well, and so the way those things work, too, is if you keep using the tubes over and over, the tubes expand.
And
so
they get super hot.
Yeah, so and then when they expand, when the initial shot goes off and the tube's expanded, it doesn't get the lift it needs to get out of the tube safely.
Correct.
So then the second explosion will be at
much
much lower altitude, and
which I'm aware of that because I was going over and checking the heat on the tubes, and I was like, hey, this tube's retired. It got too hot.
Yeah.
Like, I was doing all the things that I knew were right, but I didn't secure the tubes.
Yeah, when they do those professional shots and they do stuff on the ground, they sandbag it, they stake it, they'll ratchet strap it to itself. I mean, there's everything's secured.
That's what I've learned.
Yeah,
is that I'm creating vibration, and I could have. We could have
just screwed them down onto wood. Really.
Yeah.
That's what I think we're gonna do going forward. Not that we'll ever do this again, no one, but in case.
And I think we still have a 3-minute firework display to go off.
The finale never happened.
Oh wow!
Because we were like this, because that one wasn't clearing enough height. I was like, nah, this is dangerous.
Yeah.
So we're gonna bring it out to your floating dock, and burn that thing.
Yeah, the hell you are. I'm going down there this weekend, and I'm worried somebody's been down there because
your dock's probably the spot.
So last year we're never down there July 4th, and last year we weren't down there, and we got down there the next weekend, and there was some sparkler trash on my dock. There was a pair of kids flip-flops down there. Like, somebody came down, saw that we weren't home, and just walked out on our dock and did fireworks.
Yeah, that's how you burn down.
Walked right past my no trespassing sign.
That's weird.
It says no trespassing.
Was the no covered?
No, it was
just
visible.
Trespassing, like allowed.
Yeah. Yes, trespassing.
Just a big thumbs up.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm worried that my new toy
could be in jeopardy.
Could have some burn marks or something on it.
That would suck.
That would really suck.
Well, we learned our lesson. kind of like after hearing those stories and seeing what we saw, and the women were doing like some stupid TikTok video.
Oh, nice.
And it's hilarious. Like all of a sudden you see the 3 women pop up, and they're like, they all pop up from behind the bar, and they're like doing some weird dance thing and all doing their thing. And then you see this mortar go thunk
Oh, I got to see this.
right behind them. And the guy who was doing it cut it off
Oh, no.
before the explosion. And I'm like, dude, that was your viral.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
it right
yeah.
there. Like you had it. That was the one that everyone would watch and go,
Yep.
the dangers of fireworks. But no, it's just 3 women doing a TikTok, and then you just see a screaming fireball go right past them.
I love that the women are doing TikToks. Like, no cares about the fireworks. It's just
And
all
we kept
the
telling them
dudes.
to pay attention.
Yeah, we were like,
Yeah.
watch what we're doing. This is dangerous.
Just in case, yeah.
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 In
And
case something falls over and shoots in your direction.
Well, and sure enough, they get it now. They're like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's sketchy. But yes, lesson learned. We're going to secure those.
I'm surprised they didn't halt it right then and there. Usually that's enough to get the wives to call it.
They did not have a care in the world compared to us. We were like, this is dangerous. But the other one was like one of these
They
giant.
didn't finish the video.
No,
No.
no.
Keep them rolling.
Yeah, but the other one is like the other one we did. The one right after that was one of those giant boxes that
Yeah.
has all the tubes in it,
Cake.
so it can't fall over. Like it's
Yeah.
going to be fine.
They still can fall over, but they're more secure than a mortar tube, yes.
Yes, it would take a lot more.
Yeah.
But after we did that, we're like, this thing doesn't have the clearance. Plus, the neighbor's house is on fire. Let's just stop.
Did the neighbors see or come out? Or
Here's the
anything?
worst part. His next door neighbor is like 90 years old, and it's just her who lives there and her dog. And then all of a sudden, right before we did it, like right as we're starting to light off the fireworks, a car pulls up with a U-Haul, and it's like her kids. And like they jump out and they're going. And so at that point, we're like, well, we should start doing some Roman candles just to get them aware of the fact that this is going down. And then right before that happened, another car pulled up with like the rest of her kids, and they went in the house, and then it like projectile into the yard. So like I think they just missed it because they were all like hugging.
Uh-huh.
Thank goodness. Like
Yeah.
family's the only thing that can take your eyes off of the flaming yard.
It went through a fence?
Yeah, but
Yes.
fortunately, it's like I don't know if there was damage to the fence. It's like what is that fence? Like I mean, it's not chicken wire, but you know.
But similar, yeah. It's like it's
Oh, it's like your fence out here?
correct, yeah.
Yeah, but it went
Yeah.
through it.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So there could be damage. I mean, we could have blown a hole in that fence.
She wouldn't know though.
Have you gone and looked?
No.
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 In the moment, we were just happy to start cleaning up
Yeah,
and
yeah,
getting
yeah.
rid of evidence, because every minute you're out there, you're like, I'm just waiting for the cop.
Yep.
But there were so many people lighting off
Yeah,
fireworks.
so y'all weren't the only ones.
Dude, the whole neighborhood was
Yeah.
was going up in flames. It would have been hard to even prove that it was us.
Yeah.
I think you could have proved it.
Other,
could-
than,
yeah,
all,
you could
other
have.
than all the trash.
Yeah, but we cleaned that up real good.
I mean, we started at 8:45 and probably didn't finish till like 9:45.
We pulled out way early.
That's where a lot of the fires come from, too, is when they clean that stuff up and throw it in your trash can, and then it,
We had a steel
Reignites.
drum trash can. We did it right. I mean,
there you go.
For the most part.
Yeah.
except
was
for
dumb.
securing the mortars. Yeah.
Lesson learned. That's all I'm saying. Lesson learned. But I figured I would say, Troy, you're right. I figured I wanted to come here and at least say, Troy, you were right.
I'm glad no one was hurt.
Yeah, me too. But I did discover some new Roman candles that come with their own stick that goes in the ground.
Okay.
Those are sweet. They fire like they're Roman candles you don't feel comfortable holding
Yeah.
because they're a little bit bigger, and they're legit. Like I think next year we might just get a bunch of those and put them in the ground and just light them, because you get a little fireworks display.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't need the ones that are going to kill people, just like injure people.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm definitely on the other side, because I think fireworks are dangerous, and I don't want to see anybody get hurt. So I say leave it to the professionals.
I understand what
And
you're saying.
look, I've been on the other side. I've shot the stuff. It's been fun.
I mean, you've been with me when I've bought my stuff.
Yeah.
So you've seen me do it.
Yeah.
I don't know that you've ever participated, but I've gotten in there.
Well, I'm glad no one was hurt.
You and me both, my friend. It was a bit sketchy.
I'd hate to have to podcast from the hospital.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to. Yeah. Hey, hit the button. I don't have fingers.
Yeah.
Oh, That's always the fear. And
Pierre Paul.
That has become an adjective now, or is it a noun? What the Pierre Paul? It's a verb.
Yeah.
It's a verb now. He's gotten to that level.
Yeah.
Where I was saying that we were down at the river and I was throwing M80s in the water, and the trick is you want them to burn down as close as possible so that when they're just entering the water and create the big splash.
Yeah.
That's the game. But in order to play that game, you have to let the wick burn down in your hand, and the whole time we're using Pierre Paul as if we're like, oh, don't Pierre Paul it. Like, that's not funny.
No.
Like, you're putting that juju out into the world.
Oh, so you were doing that after?
No, this was the days before. No, I've been blowing things up all weekend.
Well, yeah, I think everything started Friday night, like in the neighborhood, people blowing stuff off, and then Saturday, and then obviously Sunday.
It got a little hairy out there.
What about the dogs?
Dude, so
his dogs are morons. They're like running around the backyard. We're like trying to get them inside. My dog was petrified.
Yeah,
Did you find out if the Frenchie could hear?
Dude, all right. So the big dog, Wrigley, he literally tries to jump up and catch him. So you have to secure him because he's like, I can catch that.
Yeah.
I catch that on the way up. I'm going a rocket ride in his mind. So he chases him. Well, it turns out the little dog, without hearing any of the booms, thinks the sparks are amazing.
Yeah.
And so we were lighting off a couple of these little things, and he tore out to get them. And I had to run out after him and get down low and grab him. And I'm sure he was like, this guy's an asshole.
Yeah, I'm having a blast.
I yanked him up and like tossed him back and like ran away. But like there's sparks coming over my head, but I didn't want to kill the dog. So
just yourself.
Isn't that weird though? in the moment, you're like, if I get hurt, that's okay, but I don't want the dog to get hurt because the kids and the wife will never forgive me. So it's like I'd rather just like have 3rd-degree burn on my neck than the dog get hurt. I know it was stupid, but that dog wasn't going to stop until he got the thing that was exploding. Like he was like, this is rad.
Yeah,
Not good.
Your dogs are something else.
French bulldogs are stupid. And they're worth so much dang money.
Yeah, they're hot now.
They're so hot right now. I mean, do you see what was it out in California? Was it California?
I want to say yes, but I feel like could be wrong on
no,
either
it was
or
Midland.
both those.
Midland, Texas.
That's right, Texas.
So
California.
You ever heard? That's exactly right. New California. They're like, we need to go to the Wild West, which is a little further east.
Yeah.
Because Wild West is done. Now it's the Tame West.
Yeah. They're going to California it up.
They're going to ruin it.
For sure.
Texas will suck in no time. And what worries me is everybody says that Richmond right now is Austin like 20 years ago.
Oh, really?
So we're 20 years from being ruined.
Nice.
But it's going to be a great ride. Pretty excited about that.
In 20 years? Yeah, I won't care. Go for it.
Yeah. You'll be, because in 10 years, all the concerts will be here.
Yeah.
So you'll be psyched about that. And then after that, you're too old. What do you care? It's over.
I feel like I'm too old to go to some concerts anyway. Even though I like going to concerts. And now since COVID, I don't even know if I want to go to concerts.
I've had that weird feeling like I'm like, ooh, outdoor concert.
Outdoor concert, yeah.
Yeah, but like I don't think I'm ready yet to go back in the 930 club.
Body to body, shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, nuts to butt sounds like a super spreader.
Does.
A little sketchy. But yeah, those French bulldogs. So have you ever heard of Petland? Like the Duke has? You've heard of Petland?
I've heard of Petland.
He shook his head. He's forgot he was on podcast.
So hey, don't stew it up over there. So the Petland is like the ultimate puppy.
I've never heard of it.
Puppy mill store. So I've actually worked on some advertising plans for Petland. It was interesting.
That's not their tagline, is it?
We're the best puppy mill.
Petland, the ultimate puppy mill store.
No, but it's the truth. So here's how a Petland works. You go on their website and you're like, this is the kind of dog I want. And they're like, we've got all these puppies that fit your bill. Like, check them out. And then they'll bring that dog to your local Petland, and you can go in there, play with the dog.
It's the CarMax of dogs.
Yeah. But so they got breeders all over the place, and they're just bringing those dogs in. So you don't know the breeder. It's like, you know, they used to say pet store puppies.
Yeah.
This is like the next evolution of those pet
They're
store
like
puppies.
agents for
For all those, they're brokers.
Breeders.
That's
yeah,
exactly
brokers.
it. That's
So
exactly
do they bring
it.
just one dog in, or do they bring like 4 or 5 that you can look at?
Basically, they could bring in multiple dogs. If you were like, I want a dog between 45 and 55 pounds, I want it to have one blue eye and a tail that's only 6 inches long, and they're like, ooh, we have all of these.
They can take it down to that. Like, it's not just as simple as, like, I'm looking for German Shepherds.
I mean, it probably is as simple as I want German Shepherds, but if you told the people at Petland, I want a dog with heterochroma, like one blue eye, one brown eye, and white and black spots, like they'll find
Because I had a puppy like that when I was a kid.
They'll find you that dog.
You're just paying through the nose for it.
Yeah, they'll find you that dog in the Petland system, get that thing in the store, and then you get to go play with it, and then you fall in love.
Yeah.
Because people buy dogs and cars all the time online now. You fall in love before you ever see the damn thing. So unless it bites you, you're going to be like, yeah, that's the one. That's
I drove all the way over here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're taking your kid there, you
It's
ain't
done.
leaving without a dog.
Well, that's how I got a deaf dog. I made the mistake of taking 2 kids to the puppy mill.
Right.
Like, they were like, oh, I love all these dogs. I was like, that's the only one I would take out of this.
But you got to see multiple dogs. I wonder if Petland just brings in 1 or 2.
They'll bring your dog, but they have other dogs that'll fit the bill in case you don't like it, I'm sure. Like, they're the real deal. They're just brokers for all of these people. And I remember when I was even talking to the Petland folk about, like, how to do their advertising, I was like, I didn't know how to ask, like, gently. I was like, but how do you address the people who might not like your business model? And they were like, oh, yeah, we got a lot of those. And I was like, all right, so we need to educate why you're not that.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, that'd be really helpful. I was like, all right, so like those are the kind of things we were working through when coming up with their advertising. Like, how do we address? And I was even telling them, I was like, you know what? They were like, we should do social media, and I was like, I don't think you should. I was like, I think you're gonna, because the only ways to find people on social media are like dog lovers.
Yeah.
You don't want dog lovers.
No.
You're gonna get comments that are gonna scare people away. I was like, I think we should shy away from the social media angle. Go somewhere a little less volatile.
Dog lovers are weird though, because I feel like there's just as many that are like adopt a dog, and then just as many are like, I will only buy this, X amount of dollar purebred such and such that has papers, and they both love dogs equally. And to me,
well, look at someone like Mike Vick, right? In his mind, 100%, he loved dogs.
yeah,
That's all he ever said. I love dogs. I grew up around dogs. I want to be with dogs. They're the best. Well, his love is very different.
yeah,
I love to watch dogs fight. I like them for sport. And so if that dog can't fight, well, then our love has ended, and I will love this dog. And that's kind of the mentality. So you're right. A lot of people love dogs very differently. But the Petland crew loves the money.
they love
around
moving
the
dogs.
Heck yeah, man. Because they, the breeder's still going to get their money. And French Bulldogs, what's more expensive? I mean, honestly, the cheapest French Bulldog you can find is like $3,000.
Yeah, right now they're like super popular for some reason.
Now, what if you get a dog that's deaf from Petland? Can you return it?
Yeah, you have you actually have a policy there, whereas I got it off some Ukrainian,
Yeah,
redneck, which is still a weird
But that's the
statement.
advantage if there's some kind of,
Sure, you have 60
issue.
days to bring it back. Like, you got a guarantee
Yeah.
on that dog.
probably some health things too.
Right.
Like
Sure.
if it has a heart disease or something, you're
And
gonna be covered.
That's part of the advantage. Petland like finds the breeders that don't have those problems.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
the papers. Like, they do have
Is it only dogs?
dogs and cats.
Dogs and cats.
But they're legit. Like, if you're okay with the concept of, like, we are using those breeders, you're going to get the exact dog you want. And you're going to pay through the nose for it because Petland's going to make their cut. But in some respects, like, after talking to the guy, he's like, nah, we find those breeders that were like, these are inhumane conditions, and we won't use them.
Yeah.
But try to explain that to PETA.
Yeah, you're not.
sounds like
going
a
to.
pretty good business if you're looking for a dog.
Yeah, because I mean, what they just tack on another 10, 15, 20%, and
They don't even have to breed the dang dogs.
yeah, exactly.
Like, it's beautiful. They're
Yeah.
like, they've got a Rolodex of all, like, oh, you're looking for a Frenchie? I know 10 great Frenchie breeders. Let me see what's out there. And they get your dog.
I'm sure I'm naive to this, but excuse me, I know I have a friend who I think dabbles in this in the car industry, which I had no idea. There was like car brokers that like
Absolutely.
if you were looking, I understand for like a rich guy, like if you want a 94 Ferrari, whatever, like you might need to hire somebody to find it. But I guess you can do that with kind of any make and model of car
Yeah,
nowadays.
you can be like, I want a 2005 Honda Accord in red,
yeah,
but it's got to have a manual transmission.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to find.
yeah,
Those guys will go out and they'll find it. And if they find it at an auction, they can go get it at a good rate
Yeah.
and charge you the dealership rate. So there's without the overhead of a dealership. So
I just assume, and I don't know why, because I'm wrong when I go looking for a lot of things, but I assume with the internet now, and Google, it's just easy to find anything you want. But I definitely am not 100% successful on looking things up. Like,
but it's not your job.
yeah,
If
that's
your
true.
job was to find, Beanie Babies, you'd find every Beanie Baby out there because you'd
Yeah.
be on it all day long. But that's not your job. So
I mean, I think most people find their stuff on the internet before they even go buy it. It's just like
Yeah.
house shopping. How often does your realtor really find something? You've already found it probably. And then
Yeah.
you're like, hey,
True.
can you take me over to this house and let's take a look at it?
that's literally all they do. They open the lockbox and then they put you in touch with the right people to do the paperwork.
Yeah,
And they're like, that would be 3%.
they cash checks.
They cash fat checks. It's not a bad gig. We can see Stu's not here today.
Well, that's like remember when
-1 for Stu taking 3%.
negative,
Stu's
make it -3.
You're right. Troy, that was a mistake on my part. All right. He's down -3.
But that's like, remember when we were young and you bought a car, you always test drove that car. Now, like, who test drives cars? Like, a lot of times you might not even sit in it, but like, you definitely don't go test drive 100% of the cars you buy nowadays.
No. I've bought multiple cars sight unseen. I've also
Yeah.
test driven multiple cars. But yeah. And there's been cars that I know, even if this thing blows up on the test drive, I'm still buying it because I've looked for so long for that particular car.
Yeah, the last car we bought at CarMax, we sat in it, and he was like, "You want to drive it?" I was like, "It's a Honda. I know what it is. Like,
Yeah.
let's start the paperwork. What are
It
we
does
doing here?"
everything better than average.
Yeah.
I'm certain of that.
And it'll keep going forever. What are we doing? Let's start the paperwork.
So, yeah, I got to go.
Yeah.
But so there was a Petland in Midland, Texas, and they had a French Bulldog there. And we've already established 3,000 is probably the low end, 6,000, 7,000 is the high end. They had a French Bulldog in there that was going for $11,500.
Damn.
There you see the Petland markup.
markup.
Yeah.
But they found the exact dog. So I guess two ladies showed up there. They took the license plate off their car, like on the other side of the parking lot.
Oh, smart.
Came over, set it up. We're like, all right, we're here to see, Jorge, the French Bulldog. And,
Yeah.
like, played with it, checked it out, and then just bolted out the door.
Just picked him up and ran with
Took
him.
off. $11,500 heist of a French Bulldog right out of the Petland store. Now, here's what they didn't know. Petland deals with a lot of this kind of
Oh,
crap.
yeah.
Petland
I would
had
assume so.
30 different video cameras watching them from the moment they got into the parking lot,
Yeah.
into the store, and everywhere around. Saw them taking off their license plates on the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
side of
yeah.
the lot. Like, came over, and I guess they took off and bolted, but they had enough videotape on these people that they were like, all right, officers, here's what you're looking for. This is what's up. They caught the ladies like a mile away putting license plate tags back onto their car.
Did the article go into, like, what? So, part A of the plan was steal the expensive dog. Part C was get rich, I assume. So, or
I
were they
assume
going
you
to
sell
keep,
the
or were
dog.
they going to keep it? Like, to me, like, okay, you keep a $11,500 dog. That doesn't get you much. So, okay, you're going to sell it. So, what are you going to sell it for? You're not going to get $11,500 if that's the going rate. You're going to get $6,000 or $7,000.
Yeah,
But,
you
like,
got to get a discount
don't
because
you
you're
think-
moving a
don't-
hot dog.
I see what you did there.
I didn't mean to. Yeah.
So,
That's brilliant.
going off of 4th of July and Joey Chestnut.
Of course.
But, so, like, don't you think that would get around? Like, how do you get, like, on what black market website do you sell a hot dog? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, how do you even do that? Or I guess you go a state over. And
But I
it's-
wonder, we're thinking of it logically when, like, people steal, like, $20, and it's like, well, what's your ultimate plan
Yeah,
here?
someone whose grand heist is to steal a French Bulldog
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
thinking logically.
No.
This is their get-rich-quick
Yeah.
scheme. This is $6,000 waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Then they're going to go get high.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately it. They're going to be nodding off in the car with the French Bulldog in the back.
And you wonder
in
if, like,
pod.
one of them, like, was the ringleader, and then the other one's just like, "You're so smart. Yes, take the license plates off. That now we're never getting caught."
It's pretty foolproof.
Yeah.
We can do this. They go to the Fort Knox of dog traders.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, don't mess with Petland. They've seen it all, from PETA protests to getting attacked online. Like, they make money, and they're trying to do the right thing, but they're in a shady industry. Like, they've got to have those cameras.
People steal dogs from, mom and pop's pet store. You don't.
That's
think
where you steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get caught there too. Like, you think Petland hadn't thought of these things?
Inside the Pallet House pro tip: don't steal from Petland.
Yeah.
They're like the mafia. You don't want to get involved in that. They got you.
Well, Lady Gaga had her Frenchies stolen.
Yeah, Lady Gaga lost
And-
3 dogs.
got
or 2 dogs. of
Got
the
her
3.
dog walker shot.
French bulldogs are dangerous, man. You're better off dealing in cocaine.
You better get rid of that thing.
No one wants it. Actually, and the worst part about that dog is all it wants to do is be around people.
Yeah.
So, like, the other day, like, someone came to the front door. I opened the door. The dog walked outside, and I saw that he was 3 feet from me. And I was like, uh-oh. Turned around. In the time it took me to put on the flip-flops that were waiting on the just behind me,
Yeah.
slipped them on, turned around, looked outside. I was like, shit. Dog was
Gone.
gone. And I was like, how can this dog be gone already? And I'm out there, like, looking around. I can't yell.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't
Does
help.
nothing.
So I'm just looking around, and a couple construction guys down the way are like, "You looking for a little dog?" They're like, "It came over here, started running around, loving on us, and then took off down that way." And, like, he was already gone in a backyard
Dude,
across the. I was
dogs
like,
that run like that, I've been so lucky. I've had 2 dogs as an adult, and neither one of them ran at all. And I don't know what I give up. I'd be the first to give up. I'd be like, "All right, F you, dog. You don't know your bread's buttered. See
Not
you
when you
later."
spend $3,000 on that dog.
all it wants to do is be around people, whoever that person
You're
is.
a person.
Yeah, but there's another person over there.
He's a slut.
Could
Big
it
time.
could it even see the other people? No.
Yeah, it
It
saw
definitely
them
didn't
and
hear
ran
'em.
right towards them because there was the only other activity on the block.
Oh, is it the people across the street?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then it had torn back. Like, it went over, was jumping on them, but while he's jumping on them, I'm looking up and down the street.
Yeah.
And then they noticed I was out there. They're like, "Hey, you looking for a little dog? Really loving little dog?" I'm like, "Yep." They're like, "Yeah, he just finished with us, and now he's going that way."
The
And
deafness.
They were
would be
like,
so bad.
haven't seen any dogs. And there's one in the back of the truck, like, jumping in the window.
yeah. Payday, bitches.
Yeah.
That's a Frenchie. Grab it.
Let's quit this job early. Let's knock off and go sell this thing.
Hey, we're going to Hooters.
Yep.
You always say that's where you go to sell French bulldogs.
We're
Hooters.
We're in the south side. Let's head to the north side. See what we can get for this thing.
That's what you do. You sit outside of a strip club or Hooters, and you wait till the guys come out who have made a horrible decision. Go, "You want to make your wife happy? Take out $3,000, buy this dog. That'll explain the other $2,000 that you just took out in there.
There you go.
You can say it was a $5,000 dog. You're a hero."
It's actually not a bad idea.
This is where we sell our French bulldogs. Our black market bulldogs, we just go to the strip clubs and just wait
Or
outside.
worst case scenario, you get the lonely waitress coming out at the end of a shift with a ton of cash in hand. She
Either
needs a
way, yeah,
friend.
worst case,
Yeah.
you're good. I mean, the first one that I want to sell to, I'm looking for the guilty. I'm looking for the guy with the sweatpants with a wet spot and a wedding ring. If I see those two things, wedding ring and then sweatpants with a wet spot, that dude has guilt on his
and
conscience.
a broken look on his face.
Yep, be like, "Sir, I understand you've probably spent a couple grand in there.
Yeah.
For $3,000 more, you can go home a hero.
Yeah.
And on the way home, get some new pants. That's disgusting." That's exactly the move. I'm feeling good. I feel like, see, I've got this criminal mind. We need to steal some French. Oh, we can sell mine.
Yeah.
This is even easier.
There
Yep.
you go.
Honey, I don't know what happened. It's crazy.
He probably ran off again. You know that dog.
Yeah. Where'd you get the CJ7? Irrelevant. Irrelevant point.
I've been saving up, and that's none of your damn business.
Yeah. So I sent a guy home in sweatpants, very happy. His wife is happy now.
Yeah.
Did it. Dude, you know what it's about time for?
Is it beer 30?
It's beer 30.
Deli time.
Pretty excited about it. I'm going to grab these for you.
Yeah, you called me, and luckily I was near my phone, and you were all excited. You're like, you gave me 2 rando flavors, and I was like, well, I don't know which one is going to be worse or which one's going to be better, but you had said, how about a Mexican, an Imperial Stout inspired by a Mexican hot chocolate? And I was like, well, that's going to be interesting.
Sounds like an awesome summer beer, huh?
Nothing says 4th of July like a Imperial Stout inspired by a Mexican hot chocolate. So as soon as I said that, Brendan goes, great, now I get to tell you it's from Stone, and we're going to hate it. This is going to be fun.
We haven't liked a Stone yet.
No, we like one. They do that.
Oh, that's right. The Cerveza.
The
one with the sugar skull on it.
Yeah.
Which is super tasty.
What is this even called? I can't even say it.
I actually stepped away from the mic hoping you would try to pronounce it.
Nope.
Great.
XOCOVEZA.
Acaveza?
I could see that.
Sounds good to me.
What do you think, Duke? Does that sound right to you?
Yes.
So Stone is still doing this upside down printed can.
Okay, well, if I read it the other way, still.
Yeah, what's going on with that? That's weird.
So I have a buddy that works at Stone, and he says they did it intentionally, and I swear they fucked it up, and they're just riding with it.
Maybe the first one was a mistake, and then after
They're
that,
like,
they're
let's
like,
make it our thing.
we got it, dude. This is it. But so, yeah, this is the Acaveza Imperial Stout inspired by Mexican hot chocolate. To the Duke's point, a summer beer.
Oh, here we go. Socovesa.
Ah.
Shoko. Is that what it says right there, Brendan?
Say Shokoveza.
Shokovesa.
Shokoveza. Okay, nailed it.
Or Sha.
Woo!
You know what it is? It's a play on Choco, right? Shoko.
Yeah, it's like chocolate.
It's 8.1%.
So twice as strong as it should be.
And, dude, this has the package date on it and time.
Yeah, well, I bought the good
Packaged on 9/16/20, which is quite old. At
Oh, no. What?
7:56 a.m. Well, see, you're messing up. I know where you bought this.
stuff. Oh, you know, because it says $18.99 for a 6-pack. Now, I did not know that, or I would have never given you the option. I would have just taken the $10 6-pack that I was looking at. But then when they rung me up, and I was getting a couple other things, and I was like, yo, that is like $20 more than it should be. Yeah, that's why.
And that's why the born on date was closer to fall and winter, and we're buying it in the dead of summer.
It's good. It's good. It's worth it. That first sip's going to twist your cap back.
Is it going to be any different than the spicy pineapple seltzer I'm drinking?
A little bit.
Just a tad bit, maybe.
This is a little more summery. a little more light, effervescent.
Am I going to be whisked away to a Clearwater beach somewhere with palm trees? And
There's no doubt.
no doubt.
There is no doubt that you're one sip away from palm trees dancing in your head. Was I right?
Woo-wee.
Yeah, dude.
The best summer beer.
This is crushable for sure.
That first sip, it tastes a lot like a steel-toed boot in the ass.
Regret.
Yeah. But that second sip, you really start to piece together some of the flavors.
I definitely taste the...
Tastes like coffee to me.
it's got a coffee, chocolate, and I can taste the
Right.
pepper in it.
You know what I like about the chocolate in this? That is very much like a Mexican hot chocolate.
I don't know what a Mexican hot chocolate is.
It's like a hot chocolate.
Your hot chocolate and hot dog just jokes are on point tonight.
No. Here's a Mexican hot chocolate is not as sweet.
With tacos?
It's not as sweet. It's more like dark chocolate.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah,
So-
like more cacao.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
it's got a true chocolate flavor and not like that milk chocolate crap that we drink.
I love that chocolate with the peppers in it, like the spicy dark chocolate.
All right.
That
now,
stuff's good. And that kind of tastes like
I was about to say,
yeah.
now think of that as you sip
Yeah.
this. Because the one thing I noticed that jumps out at me right away is it's almost like a powdery, ground up chocolate feeling left in your in your mouth, which is really weird that you would get that dryness of a true chocolate, like a choco bean.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. It's got that dry, dark chocolate vibe to it. So they actually did a pretty good job of mimicking that flavor. Now, if you enjoy that in a beer, it's TBD.
It doesn't taste beery to me.
No.
I mean, it tastes like what you were describing as a Mexican hot chocolate that's cooled, like you've refrigerated it. Like it doesn't have a beer flavor to it. It's more chocolate and coffee and spice.
And spice.
I don't get the spice from
You're
it.
not picking the spice up?
Not at all.
It's not spicy. It's
No.
just like cinnamon spice.
Yeah, it's
kind
got a
of.
cinnamon,
If, like, if
a
that's-
nutmeg.
Yeah, like those kind of spices, like those, like something that was made in the fall for the winter. I've purchased a very old beer at a top dollar.
You could either be on a beach with a palm tree or imagine sitting around a fire with the Christmas lights on. Either way, it's kind of...
Yeah. I've got I went to the Petland of beer stores.
Yeah, you did.
They're like, this one's been passed around a little. We're going to charge $20.
You're like, did somebody drop some cement? There's like dust all over the top of this thing. It's in the back of the cooler.
There is one that's like this, like a winter warmer beer that they've been moving from cooler to cooler. It's 1 6-pack. They can't get rid of it.
Nice.
And I've watched it move from cooler to cooler, and now it's in the main cooler. Like, please, somebody got
Yeah.
by this. But no one wants the winter warmer.
Did they knock the price down?
No,
They're
they
knocking
marked
it
it up,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Brendan
yeah.
would come in and buy it.
Go, ooh.
You know the owner sits around like,
We got this sucker
we
that
got
comes
this
in
one
here.
guy that comes in here and he only picks out the really expensive beer. Move it to the
They
front.
saw him coming, and we're like back there.
Yeah. He's coming. They run back. They're like,
Got that little price gun.
Yeah, he's coming.
they love it. Like, oh, sir, great beer for you
Yeah,
today
yeah.
back here. You got to try this.
You don't even have to go look. I pulled it out and set it up here in the
They
corner
actually
for
do
you.
that when they're already back there by the coolers and they see me come in. They're always like, got some new stuff for you. And they always start pointing out the new beers.
The most expensive ones.
Typically.
They probably are confused by him because you go in there once a week at
And then he
least.
tips
and
them when
buys
he leaves.
you buy,
Have $2.
Look, I have some extra money left over after buying your stupidly expensive beer. Here, just take the rest of it, kind sir.
Hey, if you could just ring up that slushy over there, but don't serve it to me. You guys are the best. Duke, I am interested to see what you think of this beer, unless you don't want me to start with you.
I'm fine with it. I think it's a 2.5 for me. I can drink it. I don't like it. It's not horrible though. I get like a coffee, like a sweet coffee taste is really what I get from it. I don't get any of that spice or anything like that.
You get that dryness in your mouth? at
I
the
do,
end?
yeah.
Okay.
Does it taste more dark chocolate as opposed to milk chocolate? So
Yeah,
not
definitely-
as sweet,
yeah,
more,
definitely
more
more-
rich.
Right. Definitely more of
And
a
you're
dark
going
chocolate.
2.5.
2.5 because I mean I would drink it, but I don't love it.
I'm probably gonna go because
Go ahead.
I want it to be less shocking when I do this.
Okay.
You're not gonna believe this. I really like this beer. I like it a lot. I like how dry my mouth is.
Uh-huh.
It truly is like a Mexican hot chocolate. It's a dark chocolate. I think my wife would love this beer because she loves dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Like she only really eats dark chocolate and she wants that 80% and above
Yeah.
dark chocolate. Like the drier and grosser, the better. I'm liking this beer. I love that dry chocolate taste. I'm going to give this a 4.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
I really like that. If you're into stouts,
Yeah.
for starters, you have to like stouts. There's just enough sweetness from the stout that it comes through that I'm getting the sweetness. That dark chocolate, though, cuts that sweetness down, so it's not
Agreed.
like your typical like gingerbread stout or something like
yeah.
that. Those
Over
over the
the
top,
tops.
sicky sweet kind of beers, which I do like. That dark chocolate cuts it. That dryness from the dark chocolate is what sets it over the top for me because it really does. And I'm probably falling prey to the fact that they're like, it's like Mexican hot chocolate. It certainly is. If you like stouts and you like dark chocolate, that's a fantastic beer. That's a 4 for me. I would buy that again in a certain setting, I like it. So that's a shockingly high score. I did not expect that, especially coming from a Stone,
Yeah.
which I don't like. So we got a 2.5 and we got a 4.
So I've disliked every Stone beer I've had except that one. But we should start writing these down because I think that people are gonna think you and I agree on too much. But
that's why I wanted to go first because I was like, if I'm gonna shock, I don't want to be coming with the shock after you. So I feel you. I know what you're saying.
I like this beer too. I don't like it 4, but I definitely like it 3.5. Like I agree with everything you said.
That's bold though for this beer.
Like I was not expecting that. I love the.
That first taste is horrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're jumping. Yeah, we're jumping from seltzers to this, but to me, the biggest knock is actually right now I'm standing in a humid ass bar in the middle of summer. Like if the setting's not right, but like if this was a wintertime setting, if this was a fall, campfire setting, if this was sitting around the Christmas tree, like it's even better. But like I like the dark chocolate. I like the sweet. I catch a little bit of that spice in it, which I like. I like the sweet's not over the top, but it's there. I've really grown to like Imperial Stouts more and more the older I get.
Yeah.
So I give it a 3.5. I actually enjoy it. Even at the $18 price point, I might buy it. I mean, honestly, I think it's good enough to because you're not going to drink a ton of them. You're just going to have a couple and
the thing
share
is,
them
it's
with
a
friends.
$12.99 six pack anywhere else.
Yeah.
If the $18.99 was not an error,
Yeah,
that's crazy. But I agree with you. If I'm sitting around a fire, if I'm in the mood, like if I'm sitting around a fire and it's cold enough that I think to myself I could sip bourbon, then this is a great beer to have. The one knock on it, as I'm starting to get down near the end and it's warming up, it definitely has a alcohol punch to it that I'm starting to pick up on, but it's not enough for me to take away a point. It's still a 4 for me. So we got a 2.5, a 4, and a 3.5.
Well, then the can's stupid as shit too because it's upside down. So that's a knock.
Yeah, I'm with you. I
So
don't like that.
this is going to net out at just shy of a 3.5, I would say, because a 4.5 and a 2.5.
No,
I mean
2.5, 4.
2.5 and a 3.5 is a 3.
Yeah,
mixed with my 4, it should be somewhere around a 3.5. But I know that math doesn't work out.
That's not exactly right, but
understand
you're not far off.
I would agree with Troy though. Being 95 degrees out
doesn't help.
It doesn't
not
help
at all.
Nah, it's like wearing floaties in your house. I mean, it just doesn't add up. It's like you don't need those right now.
Yeah, I should have thought to ask. Is there a born on date? Like that seems weird to be coming out right now.
I thought it was weird too, but it never occurred to me that I was buying a really old beer. I got
But all those born on dates, as the Duke would know because he's the king of it, that's all the bullshit, make you throw shit out when you don't need to. There's nothing wrong with this beer. It's 8-9 months old, and it's still fine.
Doesn't beer technically skunk because it's exposed to light? And if it's in a can, you're good.
So beer definitely skunks. Air and light kill it.
Right.
And that's why cans are so much better now because light's the main killer.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm sure, and I've heard if it goes hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, it's not good for it either.
I don't buy that hot, cold theory, though.
Now, I don't buy the hot, cold once or twice.
Right.
I could see, like, if you literally just, sat in your garage, set it outside, set it in the fridge, then, if, like.
I mean, I've done it where I bought cold beer, put it in the garage, and then made it cold again. It literally no effect.
No effect.
But I think if you do that 10 times.
Cycle it, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to have a negative effect.
Yeah, like if you bought a bunch of cases and set them on your porch and like the sun beat on them all day and then it cooled down at night and then the sun beat on them all day and then it cooled down. Like I don't think
that's
that
not,
would be.
That's not ideal.
I feel like your main beers are going to be your like clear bottle and your green bottle beers that get exposed to light. Heineken, Coronas. When you pop that top and you get a skunked one, you're like,
that's why they do the darker bottles, and that's why the green bottle came to be. It allowed it to live a little bit longer,
and that's why they started putting the higher 6-pack cardboard. It goes further up the neck,
protect it more. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you
I never thought about it. It makes sense.
Yeah. If you see like the the microbrews, they'll have the higher.
Yeah, it's not the short one; it's the tall one. That makes perfect sense. And that's why the IPA came to be, the India Pale Ale, because the more hops and alcohol you put in, the better it traveled.
Yeah.
And so that was part of it. You would overhop a beer if you were doing the big boat journey, across the way. Like the higher alcohol and the more hops that's in there, like it covers over some of those problems because it's extra hoppy. But that extra alcohol also helps.
Well, and that's why the Heineken and the Coronas, they start skunked. That way they never skunk.
Yeah.
You're like, is it skunked or is that just how it comes?
Well, and that's why the can is actually a far superior vehicle for beer because it won't skunk as quickly.
And less chance of air getting in, too.
Yeah. It's actually a better vehicle, but it's been decried as the lesser.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore.
Supreme.
But it wasn't. It was a long time coming where the craft beers started moving towards it.
Oh, I was definitely a bottle snob.
Everybody was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, if you can't get it in a bottle, don't buy that.
Yeah.
That's crap. It's the same thing with wine now, like the cork.
Yeah.
The cork is actually a horrible sealer. It's a living thing, so there's no uniformity to the pores in it. So you get a bad cork that has like some air bubbles going through
or
it.
a bad cut,
then it's going to actually leak air in and will allow the wine to seep through it. And so oftentimes when you cork a bottle, if you see that the wine has reached the top, that bottle's already done.
Sorry, trash.
That's why they show you the cork when you're in a restaurant. They show you the cork because you want to see how far the wine has saturated over time.
Don't they say don't they store them a little bit so the wine is touching the cork, so that helps keep it sealed more than like if it.
Yeah, you lay them on their side.
Yeah,
and so you do want that, but if it gets through, you've ruined it. And so if you ever have a bottle of wine, like a high-end bottle of wine you've had forever, and you look at it one day,
I never will,
and there's red at the top, it's already over. Like you already cost it, and that sucks.
Do I treat my box wine the same?
Box wine doesn't go bad. And you know what's funny? Screw top wine
is even better.
Far more sealed than a cork. We're using technology from freaking 1000.
Yeah.
Like that's how we did it. And so
that's why it's the better way, right? It's a lot of
classic.
It's
classic. But they make synthetic cork. That's better than real cork. And a screw top is actually awesome. So you're finally starting to see some high-end wines with screw tops on them, which is kind of funny to see.
It's always a pain, and I'm not a wine drinker, but it's always a pain in the ass when you see at a party when like somebody has trouble uncorking the wine and falls apart, and you're like, this is a nightmare. Like, why is anybody like this?
I got corkscrews everywhere too, like, because it happens.
Oh yeah.
We have an electric corkscrew. That's the greatest thing ever. You stick it on the top, the corkscrew goes down on its own, and then pulls it up, and then when you pull it off, it spits the cork out.
Nice.
No mess in the wine or nothing.
No mess. It's beautiful. Like, it works every time. I have one of those big ones that are the tabletop where you have the big lever, go down and come back, and like those things still will occasionally push a cork down.
The best one's old school one with the two arms that go up and down on it, right?
That you screw and
you
arms
screw
go
in and then you push the arms down. And that's like
I was hell bent.
It's like the old school can opener is the best one,
right.
like not the electric one.
You're right.
You're right.
Do you ever see the injector corkscrews? It's like a long thin needle. You pierce the cork.
I've seen them at restaurants.
You fill it with air, and then the cork just pops out. Which is great, except for the fact that
you're putting air into it.
But as you're getting drunk, you're trying to put like a needle in.
Oh yeah.
Needles bend, and so like
snap them.
It's highly effective for the first 3 bottles of wine. It's highly ineffective after that because then you bend the damn thing. Now you got a needle floating in your wine. You still have a cork in it. And you're like, oops, zoinks.
Yeah, they're always outdoing. When like the church key is still the best way of opening beer bottles, like
you can't go wrong. Like just know it's cool. Thunk.
Yep,
it's open.
I guarantee at Ruth Chris they still do the old style bottle opener.
Oh, it's a corkscrew. They want it. They want. Yeah, you want to see them.
They
want
to do it. It's all.
They want to hear that.
Yeah.
They want all that.
Yeah.
As well they should. I'm paying them far too much.
Glad I'm not a wine guy.
It's the Petland of steaks. Petland of steaks. So, dude, this weekend I'm gonna be out there doing some pirate shit, drinking the IPAs.
You got your big boat trip.
I have been trying to weasel my way onto this trip forever.
I'm jealous.
Don't be this weekend,
dude. You have like
There's only a hurricane coming up the coast.
Oh, yeah,
Troy.
that's right. I forgot. Oh, damn.
Don't be jealous.
Well, you're
Don't
not
be-
going in the open seas, are you?
I'm going in the bay.
So you're not going out in the ocean.
No, God, no.
Okay.
No.
There's still a hurricane coming up the coast.
Well, yeah, but like you'd rather be in the bay than
Right.
So I got these buddies, right? And they do what they call the Scandals beach trip, like a play on sandals, but they're they get a little loose. So it's the Scandals beach trip or sailing trip. And I've been trying to get on this for a couple of years because I've been hearing them talk about it. But the thing is I'm not really like in the crew. So I've been trying to like get in the crew, and like every year they bring it up. But every year that I've been invited, there's always something that comes up and I can't go. Either I'm out of town or I've got some event or some nonsense, right?
or you've already been on 4 dudes trips already.
Sure. Yeah, all part of the problem. And so this year I asked my one buddy, I was like, "Hey man, like are you doing that trip this year?" And he was like, "Yeah." So to give some
Tell everybody what the trip is.
Yeah, so to give everybody some knowledge like what this is. Basically, I got a buddy has a sailboat that is large enough that he actually will take it to the Bahamas and back from Virginia. So it's
wow.
It's a big enough boat. He can get
And
out
he knows
on the
how to
ocean.
sail it.
He knows how to sail it. This dude knows he's far more of a man than I am. He's got
That's
his
not saying much.
I understand that.
Okay.
But I'm going to now establish why he's more of a man than all of them.
But he's not an athlete.
Well, I'm a world class athlete. I think that's
world
That's
class.
been established.
You're a world class A something. I don't know if it's athlete, but we'll go there.
But he's recruited an athlete to join this
That's right.
crew.
He needs somebody to, hoist up that main sail,
Exactly.
get the jib.
Yeah.
Oh, is that kind of trip?
He knows what he's getting into.
Time to swab the poop deck, Brendan.
It's fine. Whatever. I will be the cabin boy on this journey. I do not care. But so yeah, he's good enough at sailing that he can get to the Bahamas and back. In fact, there was a time there where he would actually do that journey for people. Like they would have their big catamaran.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, we're flying down to the British Virgin Islands," and he'd be like, "I will transport your boat," and he would do that. He also has his pilot's license. Like this dude goes and
This
flies.
guy's badass.
He's far more badass than I am.
Yeah.
First time I met him, he's telling me all the things he does, and he's like, "And what do you do?" I'm like, "I like Guinness." I was like, I didn't really have a lot, to offer.
I built a bar in my backyard. It has a kegerator.
Actually, I told him that, like trying to and he was like, "That's awesome." And he's like, "My buddy who goes on this trip, he's got a race car, and he built a bar, and it's on the back, and he races it. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses, but he's always got the bar on the car." And I'm like, "Yeah, I can't."
He's
compete.
like, I get my sailboat and I sail across the bay, and then get in my plane and I fly to this really cool bar that this guy built in his backyard. And you're like, yeah. Okay.
I can't compete with these guys, but they're willing to slum it for a little while. So I have been trying to get in on this trip. But like I said, every year I have some kind of complication. Well, this year he mentioned it to me. He's like, "Yeah, we're doing that Scandals boat trip this weekend." And it was out there in the future, And then that was it. Like I didn't really hear anything else about it, but that was the invite in my mind. Like he told me about it. I'm okay.
You locked it in on the calendar.
So I actually knew it was like one of 2 weekends.
Right.
And I'm looking at my calendar and I'm like, that weekend is still open. The other one is not. I hope I'm right that it's this weekend. And I sent him a text and was like, "Hey, just want to confirm the dates of the boat trip." And he responded like, "Okay, it's this weekend." I was like, "Okay, I think that invite's still there."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Cool, I'm in." And he was like, "Okay," and like that was it. And I was like, "All right, then I think I'm in." I finally talked to him the other day, like called him up, and I was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry for inviting myself on that trip." And he's like, "Nah, you did exactly what we're
Sorry,
looking
not
for."
sorry. After you did it like 4 times.
Yeah. But so apparently he's like, the truth is we tell people, and then for like the first couple years we would like chase people around, and they still wouldn't come. He's like, "Screw that. If you really want to go, you'll find us. We told you the date. That was your invite. Even if it was 3 months ago, like now you were either in or out. I'm not chasing people." So he was like, "You didn't invite yourself. You're cool." I was like, "Thank goodness." Like I did feel a little bad. So he's like, "No, you're in." So I'm like, "All right, I'm doing this." Like I'm sleeping on the boat. Like I'm going to be out there in the bay. And
So how many boats? Like, what's the setup?
I know that there's 2 sailboats for sure, and then there's some other guys who bring like jet skis and power boats, and they all kind of moor up, and then that's like.
Where do y'all? And you're sleeping out in the water? You dock somewhere?
You're sleeping out in the water.
Where do you go? Are you gonna like sail point A to point B?
Apparently, they've got a couple islands that they know about. They go to these islands that are just sand islands. And they get there, and there's one I'm dying to see. He's like, these guys came in a few years ago. They built this like tiki hut on this island, and it's like the people who find their way to that island, it's everybody's communal responsibility to like keep it built up. Like if you notice that something has fallen, fix it. And that's just kind of the pirate mentality of it. So like from a romantic standpoint,
I've seen
like
the
I'm
beach.
in love with it. No, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, the beach, the movie. Yes.
So the question is, do you have inside the Pallet House pirate flag going?
No, but damn, that's not a bad idea. I'm gonna bring some flags. But they
got
did.
to.
One of the guys, again, another man far cooler than myself.
We
actually-
haven't inside the Pallet House pirate flag.
We'll get it made by tomorrow.
Okay, I was like, hold on, what am I missing?
He's a pirate. I figured he
Yeah,
had already
yeah.
thought this through.
I plundered it.
yeah, you did.
I found a listener and I robbed his garage. So I'm going on this trip and I'm ecstatic. But of course, the timing, because now that I'm involved, they now have an albatross around their neck of bad luck.
Yeah.
There's a tropical storm / hurricane moving up the coast, and it's going to batter the Chesapeake Bay tomorrow night when I will be on my first night on the boat,
Oh yeah.
and then into the next day when I'll be on the boat. And then it looks like the rest of the weekend should be tolerable outside of the ridiculous seas that I'm sure we'll be dealing with. But so I'm a little nervous about that. Like I'm going to be
You'll do great.
sure. I will.
He doesn't get seasick, is what he said, so he's good.
Thank
He
you,
doesn't
dude.
know.
Thank
He
you,
has
dude.
no idea.
Knocking on wood.
I asked him that last week. He started talking about. I was like, "Do you get seasick?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "You don't know if
Yeah.
you get seasick."
But that's the truth, right? Like
Yeah.
I haven't slept through the night on a boat
Yeah.
in a hurricane. Maybe I do get
Yeah.
seasick.
But he wouldn't take Dramamine because he doesn't need it.
Why would I take Dramamine?
I mean,
You
you don't
should-
get seasick.
You should take some with you for sure.
That would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
I am not.
You're gonna be when you're hanging over the side of that boat, yucking, chumming. You're gonna wish you had some.
I've got bourbon and lunch meat.
That's gonna taste better the second time around.
I might regret the golden spicy brown mustard. I'm going to say that. You really think I should get Dramamine?
For sure. For
Yes.
sure. 100%.
Where do you get Dramamine?
You don't have to take it.
The drugstore.
The drugstore.
Even out here
It's
in
over
the
the counter.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
land-
over the counter.
landlocked
Yeah,
area,
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
normal thing?
Yep.
I mean, he'll probably have some because he's on the water, but
Yeah, he's a man. I assume he'll have
Just
all that.
tuck it in your purse and don't even pull it out unless you need it.
yeah.
Fanny pack, bro.
That's what I meant. That's what I was getting
And I
at.
don't have a purse. I'm
Yeah.
a grown man.
European bag, whatever you call it.
Dude, I'm just going to have my dong sarong,
Yeah.
an American flag fanny pack,
Yeah.
and that's it. I'm not
Yeah.
going to wear anything else. Maybe
all
a
you-
little sunblock, like some 7
Maybe,
seven
yeah.
SPF.
Some-
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Some 5.
He'll be
some
putting
like
he'll be
cocoa-
putting the
some
oil on.
Yeah, oiled up.
Baby oil.
You bring sunblock? I brought plenty of baby oil.
Yeah.
Can you get my
Can
back,
you,
bro?
Yeah, exactly. Can you rub this on the back?
Gosh, I am. I'm going to bring baby oil and anti-Dramamine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You'll show them.
Well, you're leaving tomorrow, so you ain't getting the Dramamine.
I'm
are
not
you?
getting anything. Like, that's the reality. I'm going to wake up in the morning and then, like, I got to go. So I'll be on a boat just before the hurricane sets in.
I've been on a lot of boats, and it doesn't take much to get seasick.
Now, I've been on a lot of boats, but not for that kind of extended period of
Yeah.
time, which I guess is the big difference.
Yeah, because when you're riding on a boat, it's one thing, but when you lay down and you're trying to go to sleep and that thing's
Rocking.
rocking back and forth,
Especially if
pitching,
you're drunk.
yeah, when you're already
Okay,
spinning,
I'm starting to feel you
And
guys.
then you don't see land because it's pitch black.
yeah. Well, you're inside, so you're probably not seeing anything.
Right.
Oh, I was talking
No
like
horizon to put your
Yeah.
eyes on.
I said I was bringing the hammock. I was going to sleep outside on the deck.
There you go.
I'm probably not going to fail.
In the
aren't I?
rain.
Well, not the
In the
first night,
hurricane.
obviously. The hurricane
You,
actually.
you need to log this excursion.
Yeah.
Oh, so actually one of the guys was like, hey, man, bring the podcast equipment. We'd love to do a talk.
I can't wait.
So I'm sure they're going to be like, we've never seen anybody with such intestinal fortitude as you.
Yeah.
You're our hero. I think that's probably what you'll hear.
I want to hear you ralphing in the middle of that thing.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome. It could get bad.
You're gonna come back real thin after you're yucking for 4 days straight.
What's your secret? Seltzers and vomit.
That's right.
I got this.
I ate a lot. Didn't keep any of it down.
Yeah, it's like
Binge and purge.
I'm gonna be like a Victoria's Secret.
I'm
model.
jealous, man. I've always wanted to do something like that. That'll be awesome.
Just get in my car tomorrow. You want to go?
Just show up.
Dude, I think honestly the hurricane is scaring off a lot of the
I'm
people.
sure.
I think there's plenty of openings on that boat. If you really want to get on the boat, just get on the boat.
Can't do it now.
No, tomorrow.
I can't do it tomorrow. I'm going to the lake this weekend.
He can do
you're
it.
good. Duke, you want in?
No chance.
See, this is a man who knows his limits.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I can eat mayonnaise as a month old. But he's like, oh, no, God, no. Why would I possibly go to a sailboat during a hurricane? But it's a story.
It's going to be a good podcast
if you
story.
survive, it'll be a
Yeah.
great story.
Yeah, well, I plan on
leave
surviving.
leave the podcast equipment here so I can keep it going on after you're long gone.
Just take a picture of this equipment. This is all you need.
We want you to do the dry run, then we'll go next year.
That's
Yeah,
the
there
thing.
you
And
go.
the funny thing is, it's probably like a dozen dudes, and I know one of them. So, like, they don't even know what they're getting.
Yeah.
But the one guy has vouched for me enough to let me on the boat. So I'm like, all right, here we go.
You don't have a problem making friends.
I don't, but that's normal me, like not vomiting over the edge and crying.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's a different dude. It's a dude I don't even know.
Well, I hope you don't.
I do too. It never occurred to me that I actually might, but the more you guys are talking, like it's different sleeping on a boat. That
It
makes
seems
perfect
miserable.
sense.
It's just better be prepared than unprepared.
Yeah, man. Boy Scout shit.
All right. So podcast equipment and Dramamine.
Yeah. And dong's
Yeah.
wrong. You're good.
Of course. That's already packed.
No other clothes but the dong's
Yeah.
wrong.
I haven't packed anything.
Of course you haven't. It's not 2 a.m.
The Duke gets me.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The Duke gets me.
When do you leave?
Tomorrow morning.
Like first thing?
Well, the good news is, so everything's
Where are you
so
leaving
loose.
out of?
Kilmarnock.
Okay.
So everything is relatively. Like,
There's no time limits.
it doesn't appear to be because
Yeah.
I even said to the guy, I was like, well, when are you going? He was like, I'm going Wednesday night. The first time I talked to him, I was like, ooh, all right, maybe I'll go Wednesday night with you. And then he was like, no, I'm not going Wednesday night anymore because the hurricane coming in. So I'm probably going to just go up there and we'll see how it shakes out. So I was like, all right, the pressure's off. Like, I think if I
Y'all
leave,
might not even go out tomorrow. You might just sleep on the boat wherever it is.
So that's what he had made a comment to that effect. Like, if it's really
If
bad,
it's really bad, you're not going out.
we'll stay at the dock.
yeah.
And I was like, why would you keep a boat on a dock during seas like that? I mean, isn't that a bad idea?
No. If it's tied up right, you're fine.
So it doesn't slam into the dock all
No,
night?
they'll have bumpers and stuff up.
And that feels okay.
You'd rather be at the dock than out in the middle of open water. I can tell you that.
Yeah, what I don't know could fill a book.
Yeah.
And so I'm working through it mentally. Like, I don't know what the right move is. So
I'm sure he's been out
He
there.
knows.
He knows
Yeah,
that
he
he's
knows.
not taking a risk.
So don't question him.
Oh, that's what
This
I was
guy over here
yeah.
like,
No,
Let's
I'm not
go.
questioning anything. That's what I explained to my wife.
Yeah.
I go, look, I'm going with the right guy.
Right.
Like, it's not like I'm leading a bunch of people into a hurricane.
yeah, you didn't rent this boat. Like,
No. Like, he is the captain. He's got this under control. Like, we should be fine. I'm just showing up with a bunch of bourbon, bunch of beers, lunch meat, jerky, peanuts. You know.
the
what you need.
essentials.
you'll probably be able to stop and get provisions somewhere too in your travels.
I figure as soon as I show up with my Yeti full of ice, he'll be like, "Phew, look at this sailor."
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a real man, you'd crab and catch all your fish, and you,
Hell
you
yeah.
wouldn't.
Spear fishing.
I mean, come on.
A spear.
Yeah, hell yeah,
I don't
dude.
need a tool.
Bare hands.
I just barehand it.
If you don't dive off that boat with a fucking knife in your mouth, are you even a pirate?
I have a knife.
Thank
right
you.
Here.
All right, yes.
This is a shark skin Gerber.
There we go.
Look at that.
Oh, you got a new knife for this trip.
No, I've had this knife.
You gotta
This is
dive
the-
off the boat
This
with
is
that
the
thing between your
third
teeth.
shark skin Gerber
Ah.
I bought because I keep losing these.
Yeah, the last one you lost in the river, right?
I'm a waterman.
Yeah.
That story does not help my cause.
You're about to be a seaman.
Which is that's the first sign you look for when trying to sell a French bulldog outside of a strip club. Sweatpants and semen. Yes.
Sounds fun, man.
I'm hoping it's fun. I'm hoping I come back with glowing reports and everybody's like, I'll tell you, that Brendan, that guy really knew how to handle himself
And
out
he
there.
needs to bring some friends next time.
That's what I'm hoping that I can prove that our crew of lesser men.
If you
is
guys
worthy.
think I'm awesome, you should meet Troy and the Duke. Those guys are way cooler.
That's kind of what I'm
Yeah.
hoping, that I can get to that point. Because honestly, what I know of the guys, one races cars, one's a fighter pilot. The other guy is the guy I know, and he's a captain and a pilot.
I'm out.
I'm just like, well, no, but maybe
Can't
they
tell
need
stories with those guys.
I know,
What am I going to talk about?
just like awesome bonfires.
Yeah.
you know.
You ever been in a pop-up camper? It's really fun.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a
It
little
rained
extreme.
really hard one time we were out there. I was kind of worried we were going to get wet. You
There
get
was
it, right?
water dripping
There was
through
a
the
leak.
seams. Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, longest night of my life.
Yeah, you guys get it, right?
And then the one dude's like, I was a POW for 4 years. And you're like, which sounds rough too, you know?
Why are you trying to one-up me, dude?
I one day when I was camping had to go without breakfast.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm in a different world. They're going to slum it up.
My worst camping trip was we were going to a park, a state park, and a hurricane or something had come through and knocked the power out. And we were like, we're going to do a night without power and water. That's our, yeah, we were in a pop-up, and yeah, we had lamps and shit. But like that was our,
But you roughed it.
we didn't have AC, so we were really going hard.
That's extreme, man. You made it?
I survived, dude. I wrote a book about it.
I mean, the good news is weather looks great after
Yeah.
tomorrow. It's not good.
Yeah. I just got to live through that first night without, ruining my pride.
The good thing is when they predict weather patterns, they're always correct.
Oh,
100% of the
absolutely.
time.
Which is super helpful.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine if they were wrong?
I know. That'd be a huge inconvenience.
I also have to believe, though, that if a hurricane comes through or a tropical storm, the seas don't exactly just calm right down after.
No.
It's usually the calm before the storm. You should be out there tonight.
You know what? I'm just going to go.
Go.
He shows
Hit him
up
up.
tomorrow. I'm on his boat.
You're
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm
Let's-
ready.
I'm sailing.
You're standing on front like Leo. I'm king of the world. Brendan, we haven't left the dock.
Dude, I'm going to show up in a life vest and a helmet.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
I think that's the move.
The orange life jacket.
And the donk's wrong.
Yep.
Perfection.
Yeah.
Perfection. Should I wasn't going to bring the dog strong because I don't know these guys.
You should bring it.
That seems a little weird.
I mean, you got weird on your company trip putting it on. I mean, it's
yeah.
not much weirder than that.
That definitely is weirder.
I mean,
But I know those guys.
You'd be hilarious if you came out of the bottom of that sailboat wearing that
Yeah.
thing. You're like, let's hit the beaches, boys. You could tell them you're European by way of Arizona, Chicago, D.C.
yeah, that's what
South
the
side.
Irish wear.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Uh-oh. I just looked down. Like, because I was seeing all these text messages pop off.
Uh-oh.
So I'm on a big old group thread, which is never good when everybody is just a number because you don't know anybody.
You don't know
on the
anyone.
trip.
Right. You know, one guy.
The one guy I know is the only guy looks like he's headed down tomorrow. And everybody else is like probably not coming down to like Friday or Saturday. Like I'm not backing out.
No, you go.
Yeah, you get
I'm
out
going.
there.
If that guy's going, you go because he
That's right.
he knows what's up.
But that helps move me up, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like the man chart because I don't have any other card to play
No.
outside of just like trying.
Tell them how you drive a Miata. They'll like really think you're awesome.
Actually, he knows I have a Miata. I mostly drive the 4Runner around him. 'Cause he's like, that's cool. He's like, I used to have one of those. And I brought up the Miata once, and I was like, man, I got this sweet Miata. And he was like, nah, man, I never had a Miata.
You
Like-
mean your wife has a Miata?
No, he honestly, he did kind of shoot it down quick. I was like, more people race Miatas on tracks than any other car. And he's like, yeah, we race BMWs because the
Yeah,
BMW
yeah.
3 Series is the second most race car, and it's actually a far superior machine. I'm like, what do you know?
Yeah, the Miata numbers thing is really tricky because it's like, yeah, it's like the most popular sports car ever sold, but it's also like
The cheapest.
the cheapest and the like. There's been more made, so it's like, of course,
Any schmuck can get his hands on a Miata.
yeah.
And then it takes the next level of race car guy to get the BMW.
BMWs have kind of gotten down into that schmuck level, like
The
it
old 80s, 90s 3 Series.
It just doesn't take much to buy. Like, well, now they do the whole like. They do all these cheaper series. Like 3 Series were getting cheap. Now they do like the 1s and 2s. It's like you can get a used BMW for not much more than you would pay for another used sports car. Like they're not.
Yeah. And even the old Roadsters, the Z3s and the Z4s, they've come down in price because when they have like issues, it's like catastrophic and expensive. So they're at the point now where they're super cheap. And I did almost like pull the trigger on one of those instead of the Miata on account of the stigma. Like I was like, ugh, I'm going to be a Miata guy. But then after I drove the Miata, I was like, I'm going to be a Miata guy.
That's your baby.
I love that stupid car.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like I've given up. I had to basically look down. I had 2 cards, you know. It was like, one, be cool, one, sacrifice your pride. And I put down the pride.
Well, you know, I've talked about my father-in-law had a nice one. He's had a couple of them, and if you've ever driven one, they're fun to drive.
They're great.
They are. They're fun to drive.
They're not going to...
It's like driving a go-kart. I mean, you sit low on the ground, and it hugs the road, and it's got a good amount of pickup.
But no woman ever went, well, all things being equal, I'll take the guy in the Miata.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
Because if you had the used 3 Series convertible, like...
All things being equal, I'll go with the guy at the BMW.
Yeah.
It's a fact. I just am already married.
Yeah, and you already have 1 toy car. Now you have 2 toy cars.
That's right. Miata for life.
That's you. Miata guy.
It's going to be tough showing off those pictures on that boat with all these grown-ass men. Oh, you're in the Air Force. Here's my Miata. It's got a supercharger.
You need to drive that down there.
I've heard it pulls roughly like an F-16.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right, buddy?
The G-force in it is just crazy.
They call it the F-16 of the road. You've heard that.
Exactly. Now you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. SR-71, you guys know what I'm talking about. The Blackbird.
This Miata will lay you back in the seat. You get it, don't you, fighter guy?
Yeah, exactly. I never passed out on there. I doubt I'm going to get sick on this boat.
That's right.
If I can handle that G-force.
Yeah.
It's not going to go well.
You'll have fun.
I'm going to have fun. You guys now have me thinking about the whole Dramamine thing.
Well, it doesn't hurt to take it. That's what I don't.
Yeah, you pack it in a bag. Nobody's
Yeah.
going to stare at you. Just have it for just in case.
You're going to want it.
I hope not. I hope I don't want it.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're right. If things get hairy, it really works.
I've been around people that are seasick,
Yes,
and
it
looks
works.
miserable. Like it's worse than when you're hungover and thrown up. Like because it's just
you don't
wave
can't
after
stop it.
wave.
It doesn't
Yeah,
stop.
it's just
until you get your feet on land. Really.
yeah, pretty much.
But will the Dramamine stop it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So they
Okay.
say I've never taken it, so I don't know.
Psst, neither have I. Never will.
That's right.
I'll buy some. You guys have got me. You guys have got me. So no, like no joke. I'm gonna
If
buy some.
I've been around boats my whole life. If I were to do a boat trip like that on a small vessel, I would definitely pack some just to play it safe.
All right, you sold me. It's not just gonna be all bourbon and beers. Little Dramamine.
Yeah, and it's like the Duke said, if you're drinking too, you might want to.
No, because that's a safe bet because I can drink on land and accidentally overdo it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be tough when it's like you're on beaches and then going to the odds of me going a little too far are probably increased.
It costs you like $5 or $6 to have something.
Well, that's what I was wondering. It's not like a $50.
No, it's over the counter stuff. I'm pretty sure it is.
It is over the counter, yeah.
So it's like Advil.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
probably $12 maybe. You know,
Okay. Less than a 6-pack of
Yeah,
Stone beer.
yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think it's a good. It's insurance. It's just insurance.
When I have insurance, I carry insurance.
Yeah.
Then I think maybe I will. You guys have convinced me. You're making me a smarter man.
Send us some awesome Marco Polos if you got any service.
I assume what's going to happen is I'll take the Marco Polos and then you'll see them all at once.
That's fine.
But it'll be like a 3-day.
Yeah.
They'll all come in.
Get some pictures of the tiki bar. And
Yeah.
all
Hell
that.
yeah.
I need to do that. Ooh, I should bring a dry bag. Look, I'm thinking of all these things. All right, I got to
Yep.
get off the air because now I'm starting to get into like packing
That's
mode.
right.
That's right.
Our mentality is shifting.
Yeah.
Dude. Duke, any final words you want to throw out to the listeners?
Thanks for having me, guys. It was fun being with y'all.
Was it, I know early on you were like, I don't know about this. How do you feel being
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a pro like you guys, but it's nice being here, and hopefully I added a little bit.
I guess pro.
You did.
We get paid occasionally. How would somebody pay us if they wanted to pay us?
Well, if they wanted to pay us, they'd go to Venmo, and at Inside the Pallet House would be the way to do that.
That makes a lot of sense.
And we would greatly appreciate it. We'd also greatly appreciate if you went and rated and reviewed us. We haven't had one of those in a while.
It's been a while. Are you angry yet?
Tonight, I'm not angry.
Good. Okay.
I'm not happy that I would like to have a funny one to read and tell you guys and thank everyone, but I'm not going to be able to do that
I
either.
do like the funny ones.
Yeah.
But anything that's 5-star would help.
You could 5-star us and then rip us, and it's funny. That's worth it.
Even better. Then it lets people know that we're the kind
Yeah.
of podcast that bust balls.
And we'll give you a shout-out.
Win-win. If you haven't had a chance to head over to our Facebook page, please do so. Like us, interact with us there. You can always send us topics at insidethepallethouse@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at ITPH Podcast. At least we got the handle uniform between those two. Everything else is different.
Yep.
Well, we're not great at this stuff.
No. We're not technically pros.
Well, we've been paid.
We put in the hours.
Hour upon hour upon hour. I mean, we had to switch to a Wednesday night just to accomplish this so I could go live out my pirate dreams.
I guess someone knows the stats, but I would like to know, like, how many podcasts, because there's a million of them out there now, but, like, how many have been doing it weekly or more for as long as we've been doing it? Like, there's not a lot of them that have.
No, we're definitely in the upper echelon of, like,
Content.
who won't
Yeah.
stop,
Yeah.
like addicts.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hey, if you haven't had a chance to drop Bowflex in the Nectar sunglasses as a coupon code, you'll get 20% off. And if you need a mortgage, head over to Screen Door Mortgage. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you later. Cheers.
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 That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?